When you first decide to go no contact with a narcissist, they often feel confident that you'll eventually cave in. They count on your empathy, guilt, and desire for closure, traits that they've already identified and exploited in you throughout the relationship. A narcissist is often convinced that they know you well enough to predict your next move. They don't believe you can live without them and assume that the emotional ties they have nurtured will bring you back, eventually. This false sense of control is precisely why a narcissist tends to remain silent at the beginning of the no-contact phase. They believe all they need to do is wait for you to reach out, as if you're a puppet on strings they still hold. However, if time passes and you don't break the silence, things begin to change. The once quiet narcissist will slowly start to show signs of discomfort. They no longer see your silence as temporary. Instead, they start to understand that they might actually be losing control over you. That's when the dynamics shift and the game of cat and mouse begins. Initially, this game might not seem to impact them much because, like a cat toying with a mouse, they don't believe they'll lose you. To them, it's fun and games. But it's only fun until the mouse truly escapes, leaving the narcissist to face the loss of their power. The moment of realization is different for every narcissist and situation, but eventually, desperation sets in. Once they understand that they no longer have a grip on you, their feelings of invisibility and insignificance bubble to the surface. Control is central to their identity, and without it, they feel powerless. Still, don't expect them to give up easily. Narcissists are masters of manipulation, with a repertoire of psychological tricks that they will deploy to regain control when you go no contact. One of the first strategies narcissists use when you go no contact is what's called the charm offensive. This is when they suddenly seem to remember all the things that made your relationship feel special and try to use those to reel you back in. It's a more calculated and subtle form of manipulation compared to the love bombing that may have characterized the early stages of your relationship. The narcissist may begin sending nostalgic texts filled with inside jokes or sentimental pictures, or they might orchestrate what seems like a chance encounter. Unlike love bombing, this tactic is not about sweeping you off your feet. Instead, it's about evoking a sense of nostalgia, making you question whether things were really that bad. They want you to second-guess your decision to cut them off, to think, maybe they've changed, or perhaps I overreacted. It's common for victims of narcissistic abuse to experience this self-doubt, as the emotional manipulation they've endured often clouds their judgment. Unfortunately, this charm is shallow. It's all surface and no substance. The narcissist hasn't changed, and they're not genuinely remorseful for their behavior. What they're doing is putting on their best mask, hoping that you'll fall for the facade one more time. When you look past the surface, you'll see the same person who manipulated, exploited, and mistreated you before. They are merely shifting tactics, trying to pull you back in with charm before escalating to more overt forms of manipulation. If the charm offensive doesn't work, the narcissist might try a different approach, offering closure. They'll dangle the idea of a final conversation, saying something like, "We both deserve closure," or "I owe you an explanation." This can be incredibly tempting, especially for someone who has been left with emotional wounds and unanswered questions. The narcissist knows this and counts on your desire for resolution to lure you back in. Closure with a narcissist, however, is almost always an illusion. The heartfelt conversation you imagine, where they acknowledge their wrongdoing and help you understand what happened, is not going to happen. Instead, they'll use this opportunity to mess with your mind further. They may admit to small, inconsequential faults just to seem sincere, but this is part of the manipulation. Their goal isn't to give you peace. It's to reopen the door you've shut. The truth is, real closure doesn't come from someone else, especially not from a narcissist. It comes from within, from your decision to accept what happened and move forward. It's about realizing that you don't need their explanations to heal. So when they come knocking with promises of closure, recognize it for what it is, another ploy to regain control over you. The best thing you can do is to maintain your silence and keep the door firmly shut. Another common tactic narcissists use after you go no contact is what I call the best life charade. This involves putting on a show of living their best life, often with a new romantic partner, and flaunting it all over social media. Suddenly, They're traveling to exotic places, picking up hobbies, and appearing to be happier than ever. This charade is not about moving on from you. It's about getting under your skin. It's a carefully crafted performance designed to make you question your decision to leave. One of the most insidious parts of this tactic is that the narcissist will often transform into the exact person you always wanted them to be. Remember that vacation you begged them to take? Well, now they're there with their new partner. Remember the hobbies you wished they'd share with you? Suddenly, they're experts at them. It's as if they've stolen your wish list and are ticking off the items one by one. And they make sure you know about it through mutual friends, social media, or accidental run-ins. This behavior is calculated. The narcissist wants you to feel like you've made a mistake by leaving them. They want to provoke a reaction from you, to make you reach out and question whether they've really changed. But here's the truth. This perfect life they're flaunting is just as fake as their previous promises to change. They haven't suddenly become the person you always wanted them to be. They've simply become better at pretending. Don't let this illusion make you doubt your decision. Your peace and well-being are far more valuable than their performance. If charm, closure, and the best life charade don't work, narcissists may shift to a more covert form of manipulation, silent sabotage. This tactic involves undermining you behind the scenes, spreading rumors, and planting seeds of doubt among mutual friends or family members. You won't hear it directly from the narcissist, but you might notice people suddenly asking if you're okay or implying that you've been overreacting by cutting contact. The narcissist will paint themselves as the victim of your sudden, irrational decision to go no contact. They might claim they're concerned for your well-being or suggest that you're going through a tough time. Their goal is to isolate you from your support network and make you question your own judgment. This subtle form of manipulation can be incredibly damaging because it plays on your self-doubt and vulnerability. The trap here is that you might feel compelled to defend yourself, to set the record straight. But that's exactly what the narcissist wants. Engaging with them, even to clear your name, gives them a way back into your life. The best course of action is to remain silent and trust that those who truly know you will see through the lies. Narcissists play the long game, and their silent sabotage is just one part of their broader strategy to regain control. When the narcissist's other tactics fail to work, charm, false promises of closure, and silent sabotage, they often resort to playing the victim. This is commonly referred to as the pity party. During this phase, they attempt to trigger your empathy by painting themselves as someone who is suffering deeply due to a decision to go no contact. You may hear through mutual friends or social media how they're going through a rough time, how much they miss you, or how difficult their life has become since you've cut them off. The narcissist may even claim to respect your decision, saying things like, "I just want them to be happy," or "I understand why they needed to do this," in an effort to manipulate how others perceive them. But make no mistake, this isn't about genuine growth or respect for your boundaries. This is a carefully crafted tactic to make you second-guess your decision. They know that even if you don't respond directly to them, getting other people to feel sorry for them can make you feel like the bad guy in the situation. The goal is to tug at your heartstrings and, at the very least, create doubt in your mind about whether you've made the right choice. Even if you see right through their act, other people may not. Narcissists are often highly skilled at playing the victim, and this allows them to continue manipulating those around them, creating a narrative where they're the wronged party. As a result, you might start receiving concerned messages from mutual acquaintances or family members, asking if you've thought about reconnecting or giving them another chance. However, it's important to remember that this pity party is just another form of emotional manipulation. The narcissist is still trying to control the situation by leveraging your empathy, which they've likely exploited many times before. Recognize it for what it is, an attempt to guilt you into breaking your no-contact boundary. Stay strong, stay silent, and know that you are not responsible for their emotions or well-being. If the pity party doesn't work, the narcissist may escalate their tactics to outright guilt-tripping and emotional blackmail. This is where things get more manipulative, as they try to exploit your sense of responsibility or duty toward them. You may start hearing things like, "How can you do this to your family?" Or "Think about the children if you share kids," or even, "What about all the good times we had?" Narcissists will use any emotional connection you still have to manipulate you into feeling guilty about your decision to go no contact. This form of emotional blackmail is designed to make you feel like the villain. Suddenly, the narcissist will shift the narrative, painting you as the person tearing apart the family, hurting friends, or causing harm to loved ones. They'll try to use your empathy against you, manipulating you into feeling responsible for their emotional state. They may even go so far as to suggest that your absence is affecting their mental health or well-being. The underlying message is clear. You are responsible for their pain, and only by re-establishing contact can you help ease it. One of the most challenging aspects of dealing with this tactic is that it often plays on deeply ingrained values, such as family loyalty, compassion, or duty. Narcissists know that you are likely to have a strong sense of empathy and that you might be willing to sacrifice your own needs and boundaries to alleviate someone else's suffering. They count on this as a way to pull you back into their web of control. However, it's important to remember that you are not responsible for their emotions. You cannot heal them, change them, or fix the damage that they have caused. The guilt they are trying to place on you is not yours to carry. Maintain your boundaries and trust that your decision to go no contact is valid, regardless of the manipulative tactics they use to make you feel otherwise. When all else fails, the narcissist may turn to a full-blown smear campaign. This is often their final attempt to regain control when they realize they've lost their grip on you. The smear campaign involves spreading lies, rumors, and half-truths about you to mutual friends, family members, or even colleagues in an effort to destroy your reputation. The narcissist will rewrite history, casting themselves as the victim and you as the villain. In some cases, they may even accuse you of the very behaviors they exhibited, projecting their own toxic traits onto you. This tactic is particularly destructive because it not only targets your relationship with a narcissist, but also attempts to damage your relationships with others. People who don't know the full story may be swayed by the narcissist's convincing victim narrative. You may find that some friends or family members begin to distance themselves, or you may hear rumors about yourself that are entirely untrue. The narcissist's goal is to isolate you and make you feel unsupported, hoping that this will push you into reconnecting with them in order to defend yourself or clear your name. The key to surviving a smear campaign is not to engage. Narcissists thrive on attention, whether it's positive or negative. By responding to their lies or trying to correct the record, you're giving them exactly what they want: more drama and an opportunity to manipulate the situation further. Instead, let your actions speak for themselves. Over time, those who truly know you will see through the narcissist's lies, and the truth will eventually come to light. It's also important to surround yourself with people who support you and can offer emotional validation during this difficult time. Dealing with the smear campaign can be incredibly isolating, but remember that the narcissist's ultimate goal is to regain control by making you feel powerless. By staying true to yourself and refusing to engage in their manipulative tactics, you can protect your peace and continue on your path to healing. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe to the channel for more content on narcissistic abuse recovery. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time, stay blessed and irresistible.